It is a beautiful morning today in Naperville. 70 degrees, sunny, cicadas are out. Great day to be lifting concrete. I wanted to show you a project we got going on today. It's a good example of kind of our typical concrete improvement project that we do every single day here at Concrete Hero. So let's take a look at what we have today. So this customer here, they lived in this house about 8 years, and they were thinking about making some improvements to their landscaping and exterior, and they got a quote to replace the driveway. And after seeing the numbers on that, they're like, you know, maybe we can do something to kind of save it, extend the life of it. So they called us, which I think was a good idea, to see what we can do to kind of save what they have. And this is something we could definitely save and extend the life of. So let's take a look at kind of what are some of these problem areas that we're going to address. So the first big one is right here by the garage. So we got about a 3-inch drop from the driveway to the garage floor. A very common problem that we see in all homes. And this becomes a safety issue. They have 2 little girls riding bikes, walking up and down the driveway and garage. Very easy fix. And again, very common problem. So this is something that we will address. Now, the next issue that kind of jumps out at you here is the joints, okay? There's some major joint spalling that's happening here. That happens a lot over time just because of water that gets in there and freezes and expands and just causes that wear and tear. This joint spalling is probably a little bit worse than normal, but this is something that we want to fix as well. And then also, once we lift this driveway up, we're gonna head over to the walkway and adjust the walkway as well. So today's plan for this project is basically our three-step concrete revival is what I like to call it. First step is the concrete lifting. We're gonna lift the driveway with our PolyLift system, as well as the walkway. Once that's all done, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna give the concrete a nice bath. We're gonna power wash it with the surface cleaner, removing all the dirt. And that's gonna allow us to then apply caulk to all of these joints and cracks that you see, and that clean concrete is a perfect surface now to apply caulk to. So once we're all done with this driveway, it's gonna be, you know, trip hazards will be gone, cracks will be filled, the surface will look new. It's gonna be a great improvement to the home. So let's get to work. All right, so we are starting the PolyLift process, and what the guys did here is they drilled in their ports along the area we're going to be injecting and lifting. They're 5/8 of an inch ports, which is about the size of a dime. And right now Omar is slowly and carefully injecting the expanding polyurethane foam at each port, and he's strategically doing this in a way so that we lift a little bit and we move on to the next port, lift a little bit. It's a slow, delicate process. We want to avoid lifting it all at once, which can cause it to crack. But Omar's been doing this for many years. He's very good at it, and that's the PolyLift process. All right, so the lifting is almost complete here. It's taking a little bit longer than normal just because of the way this driveway was installed. They put rebar to connect the driveway with the garage floor, and a lot of contractors think that's a good idea. It's gonna prevent it from sinking. It's actually the opposite. It doesn't stop concrete from sinking. What it does is it could potentially crack your concrete when it does sink. Luckily that didn't happen here, but there was rebar. That rebar bent, so our guys had to cut the rebar out first, and then as they're lifting, it's really tight because of that rebar. So the lifting process here is just taking a little bit longer because of how tight that space is between the driveway and the garage floor. But our guys are pretty much getting it done, and it's looking pretty good. They got about 3 inches up in the air here. All right, so we are done with the lifting phase of the job. We're moving on to step 2, which is giving the concrete a nice bath. We're gonna hit it with the power washer, get all the dirt out of it, make it look brand new, get it ready for caulking. This driveway is really experiencing some bad joint spalling, like I said before. Over the years, water got in there, made the slabs move by just the expansion of the ice and caused that joint to basically break apart. So what we're doing today is we're gonna fill all the cracks on the whole driveway to make sure water can never get in there. And that's actually very important, and it's kind of neglected on residential concrete. You don't see too many people caulking the cracks in their concrete. You see it more on commercial concrete. But if you caulk the cracks and you stop all the water from getting below your concrete, you really minimize the chance of your concrete settling, moving, or cracks widening over time. So caulking is actually worth it, and unfortunately it's not really thought about on residential, it's more commercial. We do a lot of caulking. Most of our jobs after we lift, we seal up all the cracks to prevent any shifting of those slabs. So that's how we're finishing this project. It's gonna look real nice when we're all done. So stay tuned for the finished product. Here's the caulking process in action. And basically it's kind of a two-step process. We smooth it out, and that's really the hardest part of caulking, is making sure it's just nice and smooth and level. Takes some experience to do that. After we smooth it out, we then actually add some sand to the top of it. So the sand, just like this, just like put down some salt. The sand's gonna give it more of a natural look. The concrete's old, it's no longer gray anymore, it's more of a sandy color. So that sand just helps it blend in. The caulk that we're using is a silicone. That's important. You want something that's flexible, so this material is always gonna be like rubber. It's gonna flex because the driveway will move as you drive on it, as the ground freezes. If you put something that's not flexible, it's not gonna last. It's gonna crack over time really fast. So this is really good quality silicone caulk we're using to make sure that this driveway stays sealed. We want to stop any water from getting in there to give this driveway the longest life possible. All right, so we are just wrapping up the job here. Just want to show you what the final product is. So let's go take a look a little closer. We love being able to take some concrete that looks like it needs to be replaced. It's cracked, it's dirty, it's sinking, and we're basically able to bring it right back to life with our services. And that's exactly what we did on this particular project. As you remember, the driveway was sunken 3 inches before we started. The guys got that back up perfectly level with the garage now. No more tripping, no more speed bumps. All of the cracking that they had was not only an eyesore, but it was just these giant joints that were collecting water. Also a trip hazard. We fill those up with some silicone caulk. Threw some sand on there, it kind of blends things in nicely. Now there's no way water could penetrate below the concrete anymore. We also power washed all of the concrete, which makes it look great, all the dirt's off of it. You know, this is just a great example of the services we provide. The guys did a fantastic job. It just looks great, perfectly level, perfectly safe now. Trip hazards are gone. Everything is sealed up, and they could definitely get another 7, maybe 10 years of life out of this driveway. Everything turned out exactly how we wanted to on this one.
Yeah, so I gotta be honest, this looks even better than I even imagined. I really didn't know what to expect. My husband kind of set this up, and I think I was thinking it was gonna be like gray, stretchy plastic stuff, and this like really blends in and looks really, really nice. I mean, we had some really big gaps in our driveway, and it honestly looks like it could be like a new driveway. So it was great pulling out of my garage today and not feeling a huge bump when we were hitting. So overall, I'm really, really happy with the final product.
Customer's happy, I'm happy. It's time to move on to the next project.